Ladies and gentlemen, I have a horrific story to tell you. I was in the pro wrestling business from November of 1987 till September of 2012. I was in the professional wrestling business as a bad guy manager, as they like to call me, a heel manager. Never once served a day as a babyface other than as a neutral announcer for DCW Wrestling, to where they cheered me on Thursday nights, but booed me on Wednesday nights. Same guy, same desk. But I was an authoritative figure on the DCW show and a heel announcer on the OVW show, back-to-back nights. Same building. Booed one night, cheered the next. 30 some odd years, I guess 32 years, give or take, in the pro wrestling business, I never once bled. I took one chair shot in my life from Sean O'Hare. He hit me with a plastic chair, and he took care of me. I was asked to blade many times. I said, no, thank you. There's no need. Vince eliminated the need for that back in the early to mid 80s. No need to do that. Won't be doing it. And I was asked to fall into a tank of piranha. Henceforth, I left the company that week and went full-time with Ohio Valley Wrestling and never worked with any other companies other than when I went up north to work with Jason Wolfie Sanderson's crew up in Massachusetts and Maine and Delaware and all through there, New Hampshire. And through that entire 32-year career, I never once bled. And now that I've been retired since 2012, I go to the main event, one of our sponsors here on our show. And I go there, and we're telling old stories. We have a private room. Anything we want to eat, they're bringing it to us. Just name it, we'll bring it. And just having a great time and telling stories. And then something comes up about Bobby Eaton and Baron Von Raschke. And then we start talking about the claw. And I said, by the way, have I ever told you how I taught Bobby Eaton how to break the claw? Because I was in Dallas at the time for one of Jimmy's weddings. And they had a show that night against the Von Erichs. And I was worried that Bobby was going to be hurt and or damaged by the claw. And I said, Bobby, I don't know if you know this or not, but I know how to get out of the claw. He says, really? You know how to do it? I said, works every time. And I said, I want you to come over here and put the claw on me. And he did. I said, lock it in with everything you got. And Cornette's watching him. And I think Cornette knows what I'm going to do, because I think I'd showed him before how to escape the claw perfectly every time. And basically just ruin the claw. The claw will never be worth anything anymore. And so Bobby comes over and Cornette says, nope, shoot on him. Lock it in. Everything you fucking got. So Bobby puts on the claw. He's locking it in. Dennis Condrey's off to the right. Jimmy Cornette's off to the left. And they're watching this go down. And within a split second, I escaped the claw unharmed. And Bobby was amazed that it worked that well. And I have shown a few people over the years how to escape the claw. The claw is not as devastating as the Von Erichs or Baron Von Raschke or others would make you believe. So I'm at main event, and the manager there, let's face it, I hope he's watching tonight because he's a bit of a know-it-all. He knows everything. He's got opinions on everything. He talks about his knowledge of AEW and the WWE. And he wants to know why his opinion doesn't matter. Why do I shit on his opinions so bad? I have a tendency to do that with people that have never served a day in the wrestling business or even been backstage of the wrestling business. I do have a tendency to shit on your opinions if you don't know what you're talking about. But for a fan, he's pretty well educated to what's going on. He's done all the Chicago AEW shows. He loves these things. He travels from Louisville to Chicago, takes his daughter, good, decent man for the most part, but thinks he knows way too much about wrestling. So he's telling me how devastating the claw is, how he could see how this claw would hurt people and damage them. I said, I said, well, do me a favor. And I'm sitting there all 63 years old of me and having my dinner, and I pushed my dinner aside. I said, come on over. And Chris already knows what's going to happen. I said, come on over, because he's seen it many times. And he knows the claw is a crock of shit. The claw does not work. So the manager, who will remain nameless of main event, Could be any main event in the country. Y'all don't know which one I went to. He comes, he doesn't want to do it. He's begging me. No, King, I don't want to do that. I don't want to shoot on you, King. I said, no, it's all right. You're fine. I said, and as a matter of fact, when it comes to shoot fighting, and I tell him this to his face, if Jimmy Cornette is in the left-hand corner of the room and you're in the right-hand corner of the room and I have to shoot fight one of you, well, one of you I've done many times and I've never lost. I know that kills the Cornette marks to think that poor old Jimmy can't fight, but he can't, and anybody that's ever worked with him will tell you that. Loved him like a brother, boy can't fight. Gets mad, bleeds a lot, gets angry, huffs and puffs, can't fight. Not a fucking chance. Talks a good game, does not deliver one. And then we got the manager of main event in the right-hand corner. And I'm going, I would be 10 times more scared to fight you in a shoot fight than I would Jimmy. But I have let Jimmy do this, and I'm going to let you do this. So I've talked him into it. So he comes over, and he puts the claw on me. And I said, lock it in, bitch. And I'm calling him every name. Lock it in. Don't be a pussy. Lock it in, bitch. So he locks it in. And I've got proof of what happened here in a minute. If I can find it. Well, I thought I did. It's here somewhere. Well, so we may not have the proof. Where's the proof? God damn it. Where's the proof? I got the proof. I just found the proof. It's not much proof, but it's some proof. I got the proof ready. So he locks in the claw. And he's digging in with every fucking thing he's got. And within 1 second or less, I broke the claw. And how I broke the claw, he's locked in like this. And then I take my hand and I go, claw broken. Works every motherfucking time. I don't care how big you are, how strong you are, how tough you are. I can break your claw. Doesn't matter. Andre the Giant could have put it on me and I could have broke it. It does not matter. The claws will work. For those of you that didn't know. But as I'm sitting there having my dinner, I feel up around I'm bleeding. I said, my God, I think I just got color from the goddamn claw. And the manager's laughing like he thinks it's funny. I said, no, you motherfucker. I think you just cut me. I think I have gotten juice from the claw that I have said is a work. I'm bleeding. I've never bled in 32 years in pro wrestling, and I'm bleeding now. What the fuck? So he says, well, you asked me to do it. I said, I didn't ask you to cut my fucking forehead. I'm bleeding. And this is the napkin. I'll keep it forever. It might have faded. Well, a little bit. It's faded a little bit. See that? See that? That is blood. And this is a couple of napkins later. That is the blood that poured out of my skull. Filled this napkin up. I had to wring it out 2 or 3 times. This is just the residues left. That's the blood. I'll keep it forever because I'm going to put it in a frame and sell it for $50,000 because the man that never bled in pro wrestling bled at a main event restaurant by the fucking claw that I have tried to expose as a work since 1985, 84 maybe. He cut me right here between the eyes. It's I don't think you can see it, but I said, come over here, show me your face. He had the longest fingernails I ever saw in my life. Lizzo, however she pronounced it, she doesn't have such long fingernails. Cut me right between the fucking eyes. Bled like a stuck hog from the goddamn claw. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.